Hello, welcome to this week's video. We're actually just going to jump straight into it because I'm very excited about it. Over the last 7 years, I have experimented a lot with my style. Kylo, what are you doing? My cat was behind the TV on the drawers and I was so scared he was about to knock it off. Anyway, back into this. So I have experimented a lot with my style over the last 7 years. Something that I've always been drawn to but I've never been good at is layering my clothes. And so over the last couple of months, I've been putting in the work to figure out how to layer, and I really do think it is improving my style. So what I thought we could do today is I could show you some examples of the layering that I've been doing, and then I thought we could head over to my Pinterest board and see the layering outfits that I've been pinning and kind of just experiment and play with my clothes and see if I can replicate some of these outfits that I've been pinning using the clothes that I already have, just to try and see if I could get the general idea of some layering that's maybe a little bit more fun and different. I've done a pretty simple layering today, so kind of just the idea of always wearing a t-shirt under the jumper that you can see because it just adds that little bit of interest, and then throwing a coat on top. I really love the colors that are going on here at the moment. Let's get into some layering that I've already been doing. I've been writing notes, and then right here you'll see the examples. One of the first ones that I tried was actually using my mini dresses because I love the look of mini dresses over the top of jeans and then throwing a jacket or a coat or a trench coat on top of that. I think that is like a really cute, easy way to layer your summer dresses for the colder weather. That is something that I should mention, is that the layering that I'm doing in this video is catered to the current climate here in New Zealand, which is autumn, winter. We could definitely revisit this video during spring, summer and try like summer layering. But yeah, this is one that I've been playing with a lot. I've got two mini dresses that I feel like really works for this layering. I've just been playing around with different coats and bottoms options. The next one I've been doing is layering my long sleeve on top of long sleeve. I think this one is really successful. It is so easy to do, especially if you're someone who buys multiple colors of one item. When I like something, I tend to do that as well. So what I've done is I've layered these two Uniqlo cashmere heat tech long sleeves on top of each other. I like putting the lighter layer on bottom, especially when it comes to layers that are a bit more sheer. I find that putting the dark one underneath can kind of muddy the color of the lighter one on top. So I really like how this looks. Another thing that I've actually done is when I am shopping, there are quite a few brands that actually sell pieces that are like pre-layered and you can wear them as separate. So that's what I've done. I've bought a couple of tops from Partimento Women that offer this, where you get that layered look together, but then you can separate them and play with them. So I've been layering this like asymmetrical top on top of like long sleeves and other little t-shirts, and I think it looks really cute. I am mostly focusing on layering my tops. I still feel a little bit nervous buying like mini skirts to layer. I know I'm not going to wear them as mini skirts like on their own. They are intended to be a layering piece on top of pants, so that's something I definitely want to have a go, especially because I like the look of layering mini dresses on top of pants. I feel like mini skirts is kind of the next step to that. But let's take a look at my Pinterest board and see what outfits we could have a go at trying to recreate. So I have a board just called layers, and something that I notice is like quite a few of these are layering textures, which is something that I never would have thought to do, especially this one here where she's layered a knit under a tank top. I think that just looks so cool. So that's definitely one we're going to try. This is a really cool example of how you can buy pre-layers. So this is a long sleeve, a baby tee and a tank top, and I brought a top from Partimento that is literally this combination. So it kind of helps you with like not having to think about it. It's already like pre-done, but again, like I said, you can separate these layers. I really like this one where it's cardigan over cardigan, and I like that they're different colors. For the most part, I think all of my cardigans are like grey. I have a blue one, but I'm not sure where it is. I think we're going to try the grey on grey, but I think the idea here is like, yes, it looks cool with the different colors, but also the idea of like the buttons being up in different ways, I think creates a really interesting look. I really like the look of this one where they're wearing a striped long sleeve under another 2 layers. So they've done a baby tee and a tank top. I really like how that looks, so I think we might give that a go because I do have a striped top we can try. This is a really great example of that long sleeve on top of long sleeve. I love the colors of this in particular, and I kind of want to see if I can get it. They do almost look like the Intimissimi tops, but I could be wrong about that. I also really love this one where they've done this big polka dot print just under a tank top. I think this looks so fun. You can literally take any of these top combos and throw a coat or jacket on top, and you're just adding an additional layer and it just looks even cooler. But yeah, now that we have seen my Pinterest board, I am going to pull out some layers that I think will work to be able to replicate some of these outfits, and we'll see how we go. So I first wanted to just show you what I was wearing today and how sometimes layers don't always work if they're not the right size and shape. So I swapped over the top and knit to kind of try out that textured layering, and I don't think this was as successful because I feel like the t-shirt needed to be either smaller or bigger. But then swapping over to this little grey knit and tank top, I thought this was a lot more successful, and I think it paired really nicely with my coat on top as well. I then kept on that grey knitted cardigan and added on another grey knitted cardigan, and I loved how this looked. I really want to get some more thin cardigans to play around with different colours. This might have been one of my favourite layerings of the day. I then tried it on with a trench coat and didn't love it as much. As I was going through my drawers to find my striped long sleeve, I actually came across this striped cardigan I forgot that I had, so I wanted to try that out, and I found that opening the buttons on the bottom cardigan worked a little bit better, but in saying that, this wasn't my favourite. Maybe a coloured cardigan or having the striped on the bottom would work better. Now this one I went from not loving to actually really liking it. I found that putting this jacket on to match the colour of the brown stripe in the long sleeve really made it work for me. And that is this week's video, guys. I hope you enjoyed it, maybe got a little bit of inspiration. I would love to know your favorite way to layer is, because I would definitely love to give it a go. But if you liked the video, please give it a like, subscribe if you haven't, and I will see you next week. Bye!